you can see the web. Hey, welcome to Drowning in Yarn.
Hello.
I hope that we're actually live, and it looks like I'm having a slight technical difficulty with the camera. So I'm just going to fix that while Brian chats with you. There's always a technical difficulty.
Yeah, no matter how early we try to get ready, there always seems to be something, though I'm not really involved in any of the technical stuff. It's
I'm going to have to
compare my things.
unplug you.
Is it still on?
Let's see. Hopefully
It's just a blank screen now.
Yeah. Keep talking, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Do you see all the camera interface?
No.
Okay.
I don't see it. Okay.
Okay, sorry about
I think we're back
that.
up.
I was having an issue with my camera, and the menu from the camera shows up. But, you know, I feel like every time we go live, there's an issue, so.
It happens.
Welcome to Drowning in Yarn. Thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties. I guess we should just start by talking about what we've been up to.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Why don't you go first? We went to a wedding recently, so that's where the thumbnail came from for this live stream.
Yeah, I wasn't super happy about the picture of me on there in that thumbnail, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's not like going to be sticking around for anything. So he had gotten a message already from a friend about the picture that he used for it. But that was fun. We did that. We when did we leave? We stayed till like 9 p.m.
Yeah,
and then
so it was a Saturday wedding. It started at 3. It was black tie. Can you get your phone and just make sure that we're actually live? Because I'm concerned because nothing is showing up here. So we started at 3, and it was black tie, so we were all dressed up, and then we stayed until 9, and the party kept going, but we're not like party people anymore, so I feel like we're just too old for that. So we came home around 9, and I got out of my tux, and I'm not a person who enjoys dressing up, so wearing a tux and learning how to tie a bow tie in the car on the way to the wedding was stressful.
I think it's
Sorry, we're just making sure we're live because I'm not actually seeing
We
any
are.
of the chat. It looks like there's chat going on.
yeah.
Hey, okay, so
Wow.
let's see. I'm not seeing any chat, so I apologize about that. Always technical difficulties.
Go to the website.
Let's see. Keep talking.
Um,
What else have we been up to?
We didn't go anywhere this weekend. We just kind of relaxed yesterday. It was pretty nice. There is the Pride Fest for Chicago is going on like 2 blocks away from here. But we haven't gone, and today's the last day, so I don't know if we're going to go. It's kind of overcast, and I think it's going to rain today. It didn't seem too busy when I walked by the other day, like on my way to the gym on Friday. But that's going on. That's an option of something we can do today, but I think
I have no interest, he knows that.
Yeah, and it's not like we can go into any bars or anything because of the pandemic, I don't want to be in a crowded bar. And 2, even when that's not going on during Pride, it's so packed you have to wait for like an hour to get into any bar. So it's just not really fun. But I think we're going to go hang out with a friend maybe later too, right?
Yeah, we're going to go knit with our friend today at like 4:30. And also, I'm just now seeing all your chats. For some reason, the software that we're using to stream was not showing any of this, so that's why I was a little concerned that we weren't live, and also because my camera wasn't set up. So I appreciate you all sticking around and putting up with, 4 minutes of technical difficulties and being unsure. But we're here, and I can see everything you're saying. Hi, everybody. Somebody just asked about my ear piercing. That's something that I did. So yeah, today we're gonna go knit with a friend. The Pride Fest is not something I'm interested in. It's just too much crowds for me. I'm not. I still am like cautious of everything, and there being like big crowds, and it might rain. It's just not a thing. Yeah. But somebody asked if I could show my ear piercings, and you can't really see them. They're here. So I went and got my ears pierced again. So I had my ears pierced in my 20s. And then when I went to law school, when I was like 24, I took them out because I just felt silly. And then I wanted to get them done again. So I got my ears pierced. I'm sure people will have something to say about that. Like somebody commented on my nose ring again this week, which is just, it's silly, but yeah, I got my ears pierced. So it's going to be hard to see in here, but you'll see them in my video that I'm going to post this week, which that video is going to finally be addressing these socks that I knit from Mondim. And people, so I was doing the experiment where I was going to wear them for 30 days and the report on how wearing 100% wool socks worked for me. And you will find out how that all went this week, probably Wednesday, but sometime between Wednesday and Saturday when I upload the video. And during that video, there'll be closer shots and you'll see my ear piercings. So
That's quite a few piercings, though. So how many?
I have 5 piercings on my head.
And how many more are you going to get?
I don't know. I'm sure my mom is just super happy about all my piercings. That's really all we've been up to. We have not been doing anything super interesting. We've been watching Lucifer.
Yeah. Watching Lucifer, and then I ended up going into the office for like 3 days this week, which was a big change, just because I'm not used to taking the train every day and being on that kind of more fixed schedule, but it was nice to have more of a structure in my day. But that kind of just left the evenings, there was less time in the evenings for me to really do anything, so I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done.
Yeah, I've been like a little bit all over the place too. I keep thinking of all these things, and I just thought of another thing that I've done that is significant. So somebody just said, I mentioned making a swatch. How big would I make a swatch for a baby blanket? Thank you. I think the standard size to make a swatch is 4 inches by 4 inches, but you want like 4 inches of the pattern, and then if you have like any border, so normally with my swatch, if it's a stockinette swatch, I would have like a garter stitch border. You don't need to, but that would be additional to the 4 inches. So I would take whatever the gauge is in the pattern and cast on at least that many stitches. Sometimes I do the number of stitches called for like in the gauge. So if it's 26 stitches to 4 inches, I would cast on 26 and
Plus a
10
border.
extra plus a border. So then I get plenty of room. But the standard gauge size is 4 inches by 4 inches. So you want to swatch at least that big. Ray and Kevin are in here. Hey.
Hey.
They're watching Lucifer 2. They're at the end of season 3. We're in the middle of season 3.
Yeah.
Maze was gone and Maze is back, and I'm happy because Maze is my favorite character, and I love Maze and Trixie together. If y'all don't watch Lucifer, that means nothing to you, but you should watch it. It's a really good show. But the other thing that I did, sorry, did I just scare you?
No.
You look surprised. The other thing that I did that I forgot is I'm not wearing a hat. People always comment on the fact that I always wear hats, and that's because since COVID started, I've had one professional haircut. I've otherwise cut my hair myself. And so I am not wearing a hat because I have stitches on my head, because I had, just making sure, this is gross, but you know, it's life. I had 2 cysts on the back of my head. I guess they were like inflamed hair follicles, and I got them removed, and that was apparently a minor surgery, like an outpatient thing. So I was at the doctor's office for like 2 hours. But because of that, I have stitches, and so I'm not wearing a hat right now just because I didn't feel like bandaging it all up. But you can't see it because it's back here, and I'm totally fine. But yeah, that's why I'm hatless. And Brian always says that people are going to think I'm bald because
You never see him without a hat. I barely see him without a hat.
That's not true. But on the internet, I'm always wearing a hat. And that's why I'm not wearing a hat today. And I have a full head of hair. Except I did have 2 bald spots where that was. And hopefully those are going to be gone now. So
Yeah, I think because they like stitched it together, it's not gonna.
I'm not going to go into any gruesome details, but I will say when they removed them, they removed part of my scalp and stitched it up. So those bald spots where the hair stopped growing are not on my head anymore. But yeah, no, I'm fine. So that's enough rambling. And my friend Logan says bald is beautiful, baby. And that's because he's bald and he's beautiful. So everybody thinks so. But let's get into our WIPs and FOs. And then, so basically, the way we're going to do this is we'll share our WIPs, then we'll share FOs, of which he has one, and I have four.
Two.
Four? Yeah. Oh, I need to go get that hat. So I have four.
Okay.
And then Brian will show some plants. Oh, a couple cool things. One cool thing that I wanted to share was something I saw today on Instagram. There's a yarn store called Wild Hand in New Jersey, and I've shopped with them before, and they're so awesome. The people that work there are super nice. I've talked to at least one of them on Instagram, and they posted today about their little free fiber library. So in Chicago, at least, I know a lot of cities have these, but in Chicago, we have these little free libraries. So in front of some buildings, like people will put these little, they look like little houses with like a clear door, and inside are just books. And you can take a book and leave a book. So, and it's free. Well, Wild Hand has this, but for yarn, and they do it over the internet too. So if you are not able to purchase yarn, or, you know, for whatever reason, if you want to get free yarn, you can submit for a bundle of yarn and they'll mail it to you. And then likewise, if you want to donate yarn, you can do that. So I'll leave details in the description box down below, because I think it's super, super cool. And whether you want to destash a little and contribute to their fiber library, or if you want to get something from their fiber library, you can do that on their website, as well as in New Jersey if you happen to be there and buy Wild Hand. And if you are, you're super lucky because their store looks beautiful. So that was the first cool thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. I wish we had that here, just because I'm starting to build up all of these scraps, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's nice to have some scrap yarn, but I don't need as much as I have already. Like, only 2 years into this, so I think it'd be nice to put it in something like that, so that someone that needs it or has a use for it can actually use it, and that doesn't need to just sit in a bag in a closet for
So I'm
years.
not totally sure if they take scraps or full skeins.
Oh.
But that would be something to check out on their website.
I was thinking it was scraps. Okay.
It might be. I mean, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, they have little free fiber libraries in Florida. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Two. I cannot speak. That's awesome. Yeah. So that is the first cool thing. The second cool thing is something that I've been sort of working on for a while. I mean, it's sort of done, but I can share now. I was contacted by Brooklyn Tweed, who you all know is like my favorite yarn company, and like their patterns are some of my favorites to knit. And they asked me if I wanted to contribute a blog post to accompany their upcoming collection, Frames, which is a gender neutral collection. So it's a full collection of gender neutral patterns. And so I wrote a blog post for them that's going to be going live sometime in October. They told me the exact date, and it's escaped me right now, but my phone's over there and the computer's being used. So it's later in October, and there's basically going to be 4 weeks of blog posts from makers contributing to the conversation about the de-gendering, I guess, of clothing. And so I wrote a little blog post. My contribution is more about asking questions than providing answers, because I don't have answers. And I sit in a position of privilege as of like a white man who presents masculinely. So, or other than, you know, me moving my hands around. Yeah, so there's that to look forward to. It's something I'm super excited about, very nervous about, and I just feel like super honored to be a part of.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'll be sharing more about that and talking more about what Brooklyn Tweed's doing, because I think what they do as a company is just insanely amazing, and I think this collection is really beautiful and really awesome. So I'm just super excited. But those are my two cool things. So now I guess we could talk about what we're making.
Yeah.
Which?
And then I can go get
what?
The hat.
Oh yeah, thank
Which
you.
one was it?
The broom hat. But do you want to show? So our whips are.
okay.
Oh, thank you everybody. Thank you. Brooklyn Tweed as well.
Yeah, everything's Brooklyn Tweed. But so I posted this yesterday on Instagram. It's the Albion hat, or Albion sweater. So it's bottom up, which I have not made before in for a pullover. I've done it only for cardigans, but it's just like a slip stitch, or not slip stitch. It's knit purl texture on here. And I use the tones. It's Melba. This is undertone, right?
Yes.
So
So
it's
so the yarn he's using is tones from Brooklyn Tweed. This is a different color, but let's see. It's their newest yarn. It's a woolen spun 3-ply yarn. It's very similar. Well, it's a gauge match for Shelter if you've ever used Shelter. So they came out with it, and any pattern you can knit in Shelter, you can use tones.
yeah. It's got a little bit of a different texture than Shelter because it is it's 3-ply instead of 2-ply, so it does feel like it has a little more strength, like if you just pull it. But I really like it. I'm looking forward to this sweater. Really hoping that it fits right because, it's bottom up. Like I said, I haven't done that before.
Did you mention the designer?
This is Michelle Wang.
Wong.
Wong. Is it Wong?
It's Michelle Wong.
Spelled
Who
wrong.
Michelle Wong is like an amazing designer. She's designed some absolutely gorgeous, beautiful things, and now she's a beauty influencer on YouTube. And she has her own makeup line.
I didn't even know.
I don't think she designs anymore. I think she's full on, like, highly successful YouTuber,
Oh.
beauty influencer, beauty like makeup, like entrepreneur. Like she's got like an empire.
That's good for her. But she made the pattern for Brooklyn Tweed. She made it for Shelter, so I think that it's just gonna fit perfectly with it.
Do you want to show the texture again?
Yeah.
Just yeah. So one thing. So I'm knitting my second sweater in tones, and it's super like because of the 3-ply structure, you get this like amazing stitch definition. And one thing that they talk about a lot is how it looks in cables. There we go. How it the great stitch definition in cables, and you can even see here on this knit purl stitch pattern. It's an amazing yarn, and it's woolen spun, so it's super light like Shelter if you've ever worked with Shelter, but it's warm because it's got like a lot of air in there.
Yeah.
I love the yarn. But you're knitting this for the tones knit along.
Right. Yeah, I was a little late on it because I was working on the Claff cardigan that I've been working on. I had to finish that first, so I've only been working on this for about 2 weeks.
The Claff cardigan is going to be an FO.
Yeah.
So you've teased it on the last 2 lives, I think, but we'll see it a little bit later, and you'll want to be here for that because it's amazing.
I'm happy with it.
Do you have another? Well, I guess it'll be my turn.
Yeah.
So I have a whip too, and it's also in Brooklyn Tweed's tones. So I previously knit the Aught sweater in Brooklyn Tweed tones, which I don't have over here, but it is a yoke pullover with a colorwork motif that just runs here. And I loved the fit of it so much. And that yarn was gifted to me by Brooklyn Tweed just as a preview knit, I guess, so I could share it with all of y'all. But I loved it so much that I bought a sweater quantity, plus some, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I just wanted the same sweater, but with stripes. So I'm knitting an Aught pullover with no color work, but with stripes. So let's see.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it's in there. I guess this is a good time to explain the yarn because it'll make sense here. So this gray is the base color for this green. So basically this tones yarn is dyed in 2 grays. So each skein is dyed gray. There's a darker gray and a lighter gray. And then all those gray skeins are over dyed with a color. So then you end up with the overtone, which would be a brighter version of a color, and an undertone, which would be the lighter version of the same color. So I have some over there that I could show you, but it's, let me see. I don't have anything over here. So in any way, each of the 12 colors comes in 2 tones. The overtone, which is a brighter tone, and the undertone, which is a darker tone. So this sweater is the gray or undertone. So this is the darker gray, and then it's over dyed with the green. So this is the undertone of green. So this is Granita is the green, and Baseline is the gray. And that name makes sense, right? Because it's the base for all the undertones. So I love it because I don't know, it's like low contrast, but the green is so beautiful, and it pops, but it's not overstated, which is like it was perfect for me. So I just finished the first sleeve last night, and I used my favorite bind off that I showed in one of my recent videos. So it's the Tubular Bind Off, and then I matched that. Well, not matched, but I paired it with the alternating cabled cast on that I also showed in a recent video. So you can see here they're not a perfect match, but like
They're gonna be next to each other, so
yeah, who's paying that much attention? So I'm super excited about this sweater, and I just need to start the second sleeve. So all this work has been happening while we're watching Lucifer. So this is my like Lucifer sweater, and it's been taking me a while. So my first version of this was also in tones, and it took me 2 weeks from, or 12 days maybe, from cast on of my swatch to like bind off of the sweater. But this one's, I'm just enjoying the process. And I've also been making a few other things while I'm knitting it, but I love it so much. And I'm also doing this as part of the Tones Knit Along, so.
yeah, I think if you did every sweater in 2 weeks, you'd have an insane amount.
Brian has concerns about the amount of knitwear that we have in the home. He says that we're gonna like have no room to live, and we're just gonna have sweaters and socks and hats.
I mean, if you think about 6-10 sweaters a year times how many more years we have left, that's hundreds.
How many more years we have? This got morbid. Oh, I just realized like we're a little loud. Sorry if we were too loud there. Somebody asked if I'm carrying the colors, and the answer is no. I just didn't feel like it. So basically what I did is the pattern doesn't have instructions for stripes, and I just kind of started them when I felt like it. And I'm doing 15 rows of gray and 10 rows of green. And I could carry the yarn, but I just didn't feel like it, so I'm breaking it. Whenever I add in a new ball of the same color, I'm spit splicing it so I don't have ends there. And then I'm just kind of weaving in ends as I go. So I've weaved in basically all the ends of the body, but I need to weave in all the ends on the sleeve. But no, I'm not carrying yarn.
That'd be kind of a big, would it be a big carry?
I mean, you could catch it and just make sure you don't pull it tight.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like it. Somebody said that they love Lucifer, or Carol. Carol said, I love Lucifer, but haven't gotten to the stage as a knitter that I can watch it and knit a sweater. 2 more episodes to go. We're very far from the end, but I mean, I don't do it whenever I'm like super concentrating, so it's like little projects, or like this is just stockinette, so I can knit it. Like it's like when I'm at the body and stuff. It's not a big deal. And also, I mean, I do a lot of glancing, so, and then we have this thing where like somebody will do something funny that's nonverbal, right? Like a facial expression, and one of us will catch it and be like, did you see that? And like rewind. So we're constantly hitting the 10-second back button on our Apple TV remote on like the iPhone so we can catch up. So we do a lot of rewatching.
Yeah, it takes quite a while to get through one episode sometimes because we're pausing it for trying to fix something on the knitting, counting stitches, or trying to catch, like rewind something and see what we missed on there.
Brian's always going, getting another Truly. Do you have another whip?
I mean, I have the linen stitch cowl that's in there, but I haven't done anything on it in 3 weeks because I was working on other stuff. Oh, I put the bag under that table.
Oh, that's a FO?
It's not an FO, that's just a...
Oh.
But I can just show it really quick because there's been no change on it.
Did you show it last time?
Yeah. So it's it's in Rowan's felted tweed, I think is what it is. But it's just a slip stitch. It's a linen stitch, but it's just slipped. That's how you make it. So it's got kind of a cool texture. It's not super stretchy because that's not how linen stitch is. But I think it looks really cool. It kind of looks almost like it's woven. But I think I have maybe 3 or 4 more inches on here, and then I gotta block it. So who knows when that's gonna be done because I haven't really been prioritizing this one.
I think it looks awesome.
I like it. I'm happy with it.
So I think we mentioned last time that it's a pattern from Blue Sky Fibers that is designed for their Metallico yarn, which is a very shiny yarn. And I love Blue Sky Fibers, but he didn't really want it to be shiny.
Yeah.
It has a very distinct sheen to it. So we got at Wool and Company, which is this huge yarn store out in the suburbs. We looked around and he ended up getting that Rowan felted tweed because it's just beautiful and it isn't nice to work with. Do you like it?
I like it. Yeah. It's because it's more woolly than a lot of other stuff that I usually work with. But I still I enjoy it. It's just it does have a different feel. But yeah.
So somebody just commented, I want to do a sweater so bad, but I just haven't had the courage to do it because it looks so difficult. So you should go watch a video that I recently put up, maybe 2 videos 2 weeks ago. That is 7 sweater patterns that are great for first-time sweater knitters. And have a look at some of those. So one of them in particular is the Flax Sweater, and I've knit that sweater. He has not. But it's from Tin Can Knits, and it's a basic sweater, and it comes with all these tutorial blog posts that tell you how to do it. And it's a raglan sweater, so you're gonna be, you cast on, then you have some increases, you put some stitches on some waste yarn, and then you just knit a giant tube for the body. And when I say you have some increases, you increase this way down from the neckline to the underarm. Then you put the sleeve stitches on hold, you knit the body, it's just a tube. Then you put those stitches back on your needle, which is super simple, and you knit another tube with some decreases. And that's the only techniques that you need to know. There's optional short row shaping, which I highly recommend, and short rows are not that hard to do, but there aren't any more complicated techniques involved in a sweater than that. A sweater is 3 giant tubes. So if you can knit a tube, if you can knit in the round, you can knit a sweater. And I think it's easy to feel like it needs to be perfect, but it doesn't need to be. My first sweater is far from perfect. I've worn it out in public and I've only ever gotten compliments. It's not my favorite sweater, but it's my first one and I cherish it for that. And if it doesn't fit perfectly, if it's too small, you can give it to somebody else. If it's too big, you can lounge around the house in it. Remove the need for something to be perfect from the process and just jump in. You don't have much to lose. And if you're afraid, there are some nice budget yarns you can use, so you're not wasting a lot of money. This sweater's $120 worth of yarn, but you don't have to do that. You can use knit picks, is what I did. I used, what's it called?
Wool of the Andes.
Wool of the Andes. And at the time, I got it on sale. And there's a link in the description box to Knit Picks. This is my affiliate link, so if you shop there, you don't spend any extra money, but it does support me and the channel with a small commission. But they do have great yarns that are affordable, and you can use, they often have coupon codes and stuff. I got my sweater, and I'm not a tiny person. I think I spent $60 on my first sweater's worth of yarn, maybe less, actually. So don't be afraid to knit a sweater. I think you should just jump in.
Yeah, just start.
If it's something you want to do, just know it might not be perfect, and you can learn along the way. And you're going to learn so much. The first time I knit that sweater, I knit the body, and my posture is weird, so I kind of hunch a little bit. And so if I don't have clothes that are fitted in the body, they hang off my back weird. They just do. It looks weird. It makes me...
make it seem like you're totally hunched over.
I mean, I'm not totally hunched over, and other people may not care, but it's about... If I'm going to make something, I should make something that makes me feel good. So whether it looks good or not, it's about how I feel in it. And if it's boxier, I don't feel good. So in order to feel better, I wanted it tapered a little bit. So I just ripped the body back and reknit the whole body. So I knit the body of that sweater twice. And it's not fun to rip out your handiwork after you've done it all, but it resulted in something that worked better. So
yeah, and with something like the flax, it's the basic cast-ons, increases or decreases if you have those, and you can find tons of videos on YouTube to help with those. So I think it is probably best just jump in, just try it, and then if it doesn't work out, you can pull it back and start over again and consider that one practice.
So Rebecca says, I do think yarn makes a big difference, and I don't disagree at all, and I'm not saying just use crap yarn. Use yarn you're going to enjoy, but I think that there are enjoyable yarns that aren't super expensive.
Yeah.
Some people enjoy working with acrylic, and if that's you, you can knit a sweater for a lot cheaper than if you're using 100% wool. But I know even at Michael's, they have a wool called Peyton's Classic Wool Worsted. And so you could wait till there's like a 40% off coupon and buy a sweater's worth of 100% wool at Michael's, and you're not going to spend a ton. And it's good wool. So, yeah. Where were we before that? Oh, you showed your cowl. So I have another whip, which y'all have seen. Oh, geez. Living in this hide and hammer bag, which is one of my favorite bags. I've shown it before. And I've made zero progress, so I'm just showing you this. But I'm currently knitting. I'm using Harrisville Designs Highlands wool. This wool is more for spinners, so it's not like the softest. It's a woolen spun wool, and this will bloom a lot whenever I block it because it's still got like spinning oil and stuff, I think. But I had a sweater's quantity, and it worked for this pattern. So I'm working on a sleeve to this cardigan, which I will show you. And I've shown this a million times, but I need to knit the sleeves, and then those will join to the body, and then I'll finish knitting.
It's gonna look so nice. Did you want to
go? Yeah, I'm just like, the sleeves will join, and then I'll knit, this part. But I'm gonna show it here. So this is using slip stitches. Thank you. So these like waves in this pattern. This lighting actually works really well to show the texture. These waves are just created with slip stitch cables. So they're not just like slipping stitches, like, you're not working them. Yeah, like mosaic knitting. You're working the stitches, or I'm saying slip. They're twisted. So not mosaic. They're twisted stitches. So it's not like twisting stitches like twisted rib, where you're just knitting through the back loop to twist the stitch. They're twisted in that you're working the stitches in such a way that you have two stitches on your needle and they swap places, either right leaning or left leaning. So it's a cable with just two stitches, which is really nice because you can do it without stopping what you're doing and getting a cable needle and doing all that. So I really, really like doing this pattern, and I just need to finish it. So it's got these garter panels up the side, and then it's going to have pockets, and I'm not totally sure how that's going to work, but I'm just following the pattern. So this hole here is somehow going to be a pocket. I hope one day. I'm having trouble here. There we go. But don't quote me on that. I don't know how that's going to work, but there's going to be a pocket. So I'm working on that. And that is the Little Wave Sweater by Gudrun Johnston. It's a Brooklyn Tweed pattern. Again, I'm not using Brooklyn Tweed yarn, but I had this sweater's quantity of this yarn, and there on the cover of the pattern, Jared Flood's wearing the sweater, or in the pattern, Jared Flood is wearing the sweater in a similar color. And since I had this and was looking for something to do with this yarn, I loved that look, so I went with it.
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. And I do too. I love texture, and I'm not a big cable person because I just don't know that I have the patience. But this is a simple and like introduction into like a full all over pattern thing.
Yeah, because it does take a lot more time.
So Brian is a lot better about projects that require patience. Patience is not my thing, which is why you'll see me sometimes be like, I knit this sweater in 10 days. It's not because I'm fast, it's because I'm impatient. Like, I get really excited and I want it to be done, so I will forego all other activities such as cleaning, and Brian will do it all while I just sit and do something single-minded. But he is better about picking projects that require a lot more like mental effort. So he'll do things with all over color work or all over stitch patterns.
Yeah.
So
I just like the process more. I've never finished a sweater in 2 weeks. I don't know that I ever will. Maybe if I make like a bulky sweater or something, it'll probably get done that quickly, but I don't really want to do it as fast as possible. I just like doing it.
Mo says, sorry, I'm just sort of catching up on comments. Mo says, I'm working on my first sweater, a cocoon cardi. That's awesome. Congrats.
Cool.
The first sweater is always so fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think that's all the whips.
Yeah, hasn't been that much because I've had like 2 whips for the longest time.
Yeah, your projects are taking longer. Do you want to show
Yeah.
your FO?
Yeah.
Did you bring your socks over here?
Oh, I did do the socks.
So we'll do FOs.
I will do the socks first. So these are, it's just the same Summerlee knits pattern that I've used previously for shorty socks. And I used, this was Plank and Stella's Bob's Burgers colorway
Yeah.
for the main color. And then
It's called, so it's called the Belcher family.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Anyway, so the coordinating color was just part of a mini skein that Caleb got me for Christmas. And I just thought that they kind of went well together. And socks are kind of one of the only things that I think I would really use these types of colors on. Like, for me, this doesn't really fit my style for like a sweater or anything. So socks are a perfect project for it.
And he knits socks so quickly. So I wear a size 12 and a half shoes, so socks take me what feels like forever sometimes. Brian wears a 9? 10, which is still a big foot, but for whatever reason, he'll just like whip out a pair of socks. So I feel like you did these in like a week.
They did. I mean, once I actually started, because I paused on them for a while. But so I did them on size 1s with 64 stitches. So I don't know, how many stitches do you usually do?
So I do 72 stitches on a size 1.
Okay.
And sometimes that's even a little tight. I've been playing with the idea of doing a little bit more stitches. So if I do a size 1.5 needle, I'll do 68 stitches, and it works out about the same.
So yeah, between the fact that I'm only casting on 64 stitches, and I've been using the 9-inch circulars instead, like it's been a lot faster to just get through a round on such few stitches. And then the main thing that I've been working on is this cardigan.
Oh, you're just stealing the show.
Oh,
2 FOs. Go ahead. No, we're talking about the cardigan.
So this is the Claff cardigan from
Jean-Philippe Cliche from
Yes.
Atelier Cliche.
yeah, I guess.
Do you want to put it on?
Yeah.
It's probably easier. So, or you can at least hold it up. So this cardigan he knit in the fiber company Luma.
Yeah, it's Luma.
So it's a wool and cotton blend. So it's a nice it's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you can sit back
This
down.
is- This is also the first time I've ever stretch blocked something because of the way this is. This part is all stockinette, and then you just kind of fold it over. But it was bunching everything up just because of the pattern of it. So what I had to do was actually stretch it, and I didn't realize how well that worked. I was worried that once it dried and I took the pins out, it was just gonna shrink back up. But it actually stayed, and I love it because it did look a little short as soon as I finished it.
I honestly, while he was knitting it, it was short. Every time he put it on to try it on, I was silently concerned. And then I voiced that concern at a certain point because, it was short. But once he blocked it, stand up again, it's it hits him right where it should.
Yeah.
And it's just a cozy cardigan. He put, he was going to put these snaps, but then I think they were too shiny. It's not working. So it doesn't have buttons right now.
Yeah, I need to figure out the button situation because I bought these snaps, but the problem is I'm not buttoning it. It's got this huge thing that's just gonna sit on the spot right there. So I need to find a better one that works for this because it doesn't have button holes or anything. So a snap's probably gonna be the best option. It's just probably not these huge ones that are just gonna kind of look crappy.
Yeah. So Catherine just joined. Hi, Catherine.
Hey.
So somebody said, is that acrylic yarn? Do you want to take it off and show the pattern? So it's not acrylic yarn. It's a wool and cotton and silk.
Yeah, it's got wool, cotton, silk.
Wool, cotton, and a little bit of silk. And then it's called Luma by the Fiber Company.
Yeah.
And the pattern is called the Claff cardigan.
Yeah.
So it's C-L-A-F. It's K-L-A-F. And it's by Jean-Philippe Cliche. And we'll include links in the description box below. So if you're looking for it after we post this, it'll be there. So if you come back, you'll find it. But this stitch pattern's all over, right? Except for the sleeves are stockinette.
Yeah, so that did take a little bit longer to make it, though I think it gives it a nice texture. It feels a lot more squishy and cozy. the pattern's written like with the yarn he uses 100% wool. I think probably would have been a little bit of a better choice, but I didn't want it to be too warm because I wanted something that I could wear like inside in the winter, like at work and stuff. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've never done this type of like waistband or collar.
Yeah, these finishings are so professional. Like, look at this. It's so beautiful. And then like the sleeve cuff, it's not a tubular. You like knit stockinette and then you tacked it down, right?
Yeah.
But it resulted in this like very gorgeous thing. So somebody asked what the colorway is. Do you know?
Aegean or something like that. Agean. I don't have the thing with me. But yeah, it's Aegean, something like that.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with it, and I just need to find better buttons for it so that I can hold it.
So Catherine has a suggestion. She says you can get large hook and eyes and sew them to the insides of the bands. They won't show when the sweater's open, but then I guess you can hook it closed.
Oh.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks.
Of course, we should go to the knitting goddess
Yeah.
for all the answers. Yeah, so Larissa agrees. Yeah, good idea. Have either of you ever worked or would you consider working with Plotter-Loopy Icelandic yarn, perhaps for a jumper or a cardigan? Which I'm going to send Brian on a mission because I did use Plotter-Loopy. Would you mind getting that hat? It's either... It might be in that box in the bedroom, though, with the socks. Oh, crap.
The socks.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can find it in like 5 minutes. Brian's going to go look for a hat because I did use Plotter-Loopy, and my friend Logan, who's on here, just bought a sweater quantity of Plotter-Loopy because it's amazing. It's his favorite. So I had FOs. So since the last episode, I finished 4 things. One of them is a hat. And the other 3 I've been showing off on my Instagram, and they're very small. I have all 3 finished objects here in my hand. I've been knitting these little tiny cats. So they're from Mochi Mochi Land, and they're just little cats. So this one is a little cat in a bag. I'm doing these while watching Lucifer. So they're obviously very tiny, and they're scraps of sock yarn knit on size 1 needles. I use DPNs. The patterns are written for DPNs. I'm assuming you could probably use Magic Loop, but I'm using DPNs. Thank you. So let's go back to, so all these cats come out of their little things. So this is a cat in a little shopping bag, and it comes out of the shopping bag. This one is a cat playing in a box. And it comes out of the little box. And then this one is a little spooky cat. And I didn't have totally white yarn, or I couldn't find it. So I used this yarn from Porter Wool Co. called Paprika Me Crazy. And it kind of looks like a spooky little bloody ghost. And so this one comes out of its little ghost costume. And I'm not even a cat person, but I've just been having so much fun with these.
So cute.
I knit them while watching maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Lucifer a piece. And I'm obsessed with them. I won't put them back because they're kind of hard. So whenever they're not hard, but whenever you knit these, like this has a little hole. I don't know if you can see it there for the tail to go in. And this one also has like a little hole for the tail and holes in the top for the ears. So like this one is kind of simple to go back in its little box, with the other ones, you just gotta finagle them in there. But they're so fun, and they're really quick, and she's got a ton. So I have a bunch of books that I was going to show y'all because I've been buying books. But I have this book from the designer. Her name, I honestly am not going to be able to pronounce her last name. Anna Hrachevek.
Yeah.
So she's a Chicago-based designer, and she's got a couple books. These kitten patterns are not in the books. They're from her website. So whenever you buy the patterns, each pattern set, so this is from 2 separate pattern sets. So this cat in a box and cat in a bag are from a pattern set that also includes a cat in a corset and a cat in a life preserver, like sitting on a life preserver, like, so it doesn't drown. And then this spooky cat is from a set that includes a witch hat with a cat under it, so you can take the hat off. There's a cat in a violin case, and there's a cat. There's another spooky cat, and I can't think of it.
I don't think I saw the pattern set for those.
So they're all spooky. So I bought those 2 sets. I also have this book, and then I ordered her other book. So I think she has 2 more books. One of them is like large pieces. So they're not the most detailed patterns, right? Because they're so tiny that you can't get super fine details because you're limited by the size of the stitches. But you can knit them in larger yarn. Let me see if I can find a picture of that. And end up with a larger project just by virtue of using a thicker yarn and bigger needles. But they're not going to be the most detailed, like large toys. So she also has a pattern with large toys, and that's going to be like more detailed because they're knit at that gauge. So here's an example of this, what I'm talking about. These 3 bunnies are all knit from the exact same pattern, just in different gauges. So this large one is going to be much bigger, but it's obviously just the details are blown up. Oh, there's a cat and a pumpkin. That's what it was. So there's a cat and a pumpkin, and I wanted to make that because the pumpkin is like it's a little pumpkin with like a little top, and the cat hides in it. But I didn't have the colors. So I've been just like grabbing this bag of yarn, and if there's a color in here, then
a cat pumpkin gets color.
Yeah.
I might have something.
I don't know. I don't have orange and yellow, but I'm just using scraps. So from various projects that I've done in the past. The cat in the corset is like Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror. Maybe that's the inspiration.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah. Susan B. Anderson at Bear Wool Co. also has knit toy patterns, and I was looking at hers, and she has the knit charm set, which Denise from Earth Tones Girl podcast knit one of her pumpkins, and it was so cute. So it was like sitting next to her coffee cup, and it's like just a little thing. And the pattern set comes with like acorns, pine cones, pumpkins,
cute,
like leaves, and you make like a garland, which would be so cute to knit and like put
just in that window,
like in the window or something. Which maybe we should do something like that for Christmas.
Just we did toys. A few things last year, just like what are they? Just the Christmas ornaments.
I always love to make Christmas ornaments, and these cats might become Christmas ornaments. Just at Christmas, I can just like hook. I just like knitting little things and then putting them on my tree.
Quick little project.
Yeah. So these are my my 3 FOs, and then my other FO, my 4th FO, since the last time we spoke, is this hat, which is the Broom Hat by. Oh, it smells so good. I washed it in that Brooklyn Tweed wool soap from Tuft Woolens. Oh, and it smells so good. It's from B Mandarins. I know I said that wrong, and I'm sorry. I will put a link down below. But this is the Broom Hat, and it's got really beautiful. Let me see if you can see sort of the way the stitches decrease this way. I'm looking at myself, and this part here just kind of goes straight up, so you end up with this kind of like line here where the decreases are. And this hat is knit with Plotolupi, which is, for those of you who don't know, an Icelandic wool. So it's not like most people will say the softest wool, but it wears really well over time and it softens as you wear it. I love it. So it's an Icelandic wool held double with a strand of Surrey alpaca. And the pattern is written for a yarn called Nutidin, which is very similar. It's an unspun wool. So there's not, there's like a very minimal twist, or there's no twist. There's no twist at all. And so you can, whenever you're working with Plotolupi, if you pull it, so like if you hold it far out and pull, it's just going to come right apart. Like there's nothing holding it together. There's no twist at all. But because Icelandic wool has these really long, has very long staple length, the sheep's hairs, there's like the guard hairs, and then there's, I forget what the other ones are called. There's like 2 different staple lengths and 2 different types of like hair. The guard hairs, those like long staple length hairs are really long. So if you hold it close and you pull, it's extremely strong. So as you're knitting with it, you have to be a little bit careful because if you apply pressure and it's like too far apart, it's just gonna come apart. But knitting it double with that suri helps hold it together while you're knitting. So like you can't pull any harder than the suris because the suri has like a silk strand that doesn't stretch.
Yeah.
I hope that made sense. But this is holding both of those double, and it makes like the lightest. Like this is so light.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so warm because Plotolupi or Lopi yarn is extremely warm to begin with, and then adding in that suri, alpaca is a warm fiber, but it also just fills in all those gaps. And whenever you like wear and block Lopi, it just kind of like it will bloom and all those shorter hairs in there fill in some of those gaps, so there's nowhere for the air to get through. So it's going to be super warm, but also really light. And I love this hat.
And it does make me want to make a sweater out of Lopi. Not this Lopi, but I forget the worsted weight one.
Oh, Alafos Lopi?
I think that's the one.
Or is that the bulky? They're all like something Lopi. So there's Alafos Lopi is the bulky Lopi. Let Lopi.
Yes.
Let Lopi, I think, is the bulky Lopi.
But I just think it'd be great with Chicago winters to have one or two sweaters that's like super warm. I've heard people say before that sometimes they're too warm because of just the content of the fiber. But still, I want to do that.
I don't think there's such a thing as too warm in like February.
But if you're like, I think they mean like layering. So if you got that on and then a jacket.
Yeah. Can you imagine like a nice bulky Lopi cardigan you could just wear as a coat walking the dogs?
I'd love that.
That'd be so nice.
Plus cardigans.
So this is my 4th FO. And I guess that's all of our knitting. That's everything we knit. So I bought a few things, but we haven't bought any yarn, really.
No, because we haven't gone anywhere, and I don't think there's been. I mean, we did buy the Brooklyn tweed.
So that I lied. So that I was gonna tell you all about. So this is in my. I've had this for a little while. This is a bearded pearl bag. So they make these bags with Harris tweed. So it's 100% wool tweed from Scotland. These bags are beautiful. But I'm using it for all my yarn for my my second art sweater. And I bought, so I knew that I used 9 skeins of yarn for my first art sweater total. So I said, oh, I'm going to stripe, and I'm going to make the green stripes a little bit narrower than the gray stripes. So I bought 9 skeins of wool, and I split it 5 skeins of gray and 4 skeins of green. And in my head, that was going to work out perfectly. And I think it might work out perfectly, but as I was knitting it, I started to panic, and I was like, I'm going to run out of green. So I bought more green. So I bought an extra skein of the green yarn. And then as I was knitting further, I told Brian, I think I'm going to be fine on green, but I think I'm going to run out of gray. So then I bought more gray.
You really just wanted to buy more yarn.
So I've got all this yarn in one sleeve to knit. So I think I went overboard on buying this yarn. But if I have extra, I'm going to knit a Sparkwood hat, which is this beautiful honeycomb cable hat that is designed. It was designed for tones. So it's like a second cowl project.
Yeah.
Or knit along project. So it's not like it's going to go to waste, but I did buy all this extra yarn out of fear. And the fear came in because they're sold out. Like I had to go, especially this Granita, sold out very quickly on Brooklyn Tweed's website because they were making this yarn during the pandemic, right? And so their production capacity was lowered and the demand for the yarn was higher than expected, so they sold out. And so they have a pre-order up on their website, and that yarn's going to ship in December, but I didn't want to pre-order yarn and wait till December. So I instead decided, oh, my Mac is going to fall asleep. Can you go get the charger from the desk like really quickly? Sorry, I just realized that I'm not plugged in. So Brian's gonna hop over there and grab my charger so we don't die. Anyway, because it's sold out, I went online and found yarn stores that have it and bought the yarn before I couldn't buy the yarn anymore. And Brian, you have to get the charger. One of those chargers has a cable in it. fast. I'm afraid it's gonna die. That's not, okay, yeah. I don't think that's the right charger. Hopefully it works. Cause it's this, sorry y'all. This is for my iPad. But let's see. Okay. Crisis averted. Thank you so much. But while I was ordering that yarn, I also got this color called Vacay in the undertone. So all these are the undertones, which are the darker ones. But I'm not a bright teal person, but I thought that was really pretty and I can do something with it.
Yeah.
So.
It'd be great for a hat.
Oh, Fiber Hustle. Hey, hi. He says fingerless gloves would be cool as well. And I was playing Yarn Chicken. I sort of was playing Yarn Chicken, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So that was my only yarn acquisitions. But then I also, oh, crap.
Do you need me to get something?
He always, I always want him to get things for me. Yes, please. I'm sorry.
What?
Will you go get that bag up there in my other hide and hammer bag? I have something else to show y'all, which leads into my other acquisition. Thank you so much, Brian. He's having to we move everything in our house to put this table here. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And so he's having to go around everything. So y'all, Brian is the best and I'm difficult. Thank you so much. So, here's the other thing. So I'm dipping my toe into designing. So you may know that I designed a basic Christmas stocking, and that's up on my Ravelry store and on my website, drowninginyarn.com. And so basically I did a full-size Christmas stocking and then little Christmas stockings. And then this year I got the inspiration to design a hat. These are in progress and there's no pattern yet, but I finished the samples and I just need to write the pattern. But I have a tendency to oversubscribe myself, so I have a lot of things going on in a full-time job, so I just haven't written the pattern. But I designed this hat. It does not have a name, and it's designed to be kind of reversible. This smaller one is not blocked, but you can wear it inside. Well, with this, this is the mainly purl side, so you get these columns of knit stitches, or you can wear it with the mainly knit side out. And it's a ribbed hat.
It stretches a lot.
It stretches a whole lot. So this hat could fit a huge head. It's very stretchy. So I need to write this design or write the pattern, but because I've been on this adventure, which I'm going to, once I write the pattern, be needing test knitters. So if you're interested, be on the lookout. I'll post that on my Instagram and here on the community post, our community tab on my YouTube channel. So if that's something you're interested in, just keep an eye out in the next month or so, because I need to write this pattern. But because of that, I started buying all these books. So I've been watching every week. Andrea Mowry puts up a video on her YouTube channel where she just answers questions. And somebody sent a question about designing and what resources she used when she started designing, because she's by trade, I guess, before she was a knitwear designer, she was a baker specializing in vegan baked goods, or I believe vegan and allergen free, which is super interesting. And she was a hairdresser, a hairstylist, and she lived in Austin, which I lived in Austin too. She's my favorite, so I'm learning all this stuff about her. But she was talking about what she used to learn to design, and she talked about a couple books, and so I bought them. So the two books that she talked about, one of them was called Knitting from the Top Down by Barbara Walker, and this is obviously an older book, but it's about knitting sweaters from the top down, seamless. And that's what's up?
Is she knitting what she's wearing?
She's that didn't occur to me, but yeah, she is knitting what she's wearing, so that's interesting.
It's not gonna work for long. Okay.
And then the other book she talked about is Knitting Without Tears by Elizabeth Zimmerman, who a lot of people know is a legend. So I bought these two books to read and learn from. And then I also had previously purchased The Beginner's Guide to Writing Knitting Patterns by Kate Atherley. And I have some of Kate Atherley's other books. And her books are just like, I haven't met one I don't like. She's so, 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 so good. And the other one that I have is Custom Socks. It's like, it's a whole guide about making sure that you make socks that fit. And our favorite like sock recipe, I think, is from that book. It's just that 3x1
Yeah.
ribbed sock.
Yeah, that was good.
So then while I was looking for, I'm not going to tell you why I needed a darning egg, but you can probably guess with my sock experiment. I needed a darning egg, and I wanted it overnight from Amazon. I did buy it from Amazon. And while I was looking for this book showed up. And so I bought this book from Kate Atherley called Custom Shawls. So this book, I think I do have an idea for a shawl design. And so this book, like everything up to like, I don't know, back here is just about like knitting shawls. Like it's just information about knitting shawls, making them, having stretchy bind offs, cast ons, like all this information. And so it's basically like the shawl companion to that sock book. And I think she has one about mittens and she has one about hats that I have yet to buy. But I figured that would be a really good investment as well.
Yeah.
So I have not talked about books on my channel in a while. And I just bought these, but maybe it's time for another little book roundup.
Yeah.
Because, and I also have a book to give away, not right now, but in a future episode coming soon, I have a book from Pom Pom Magazine that they generously gave to me to give away. And it is their raglan sweater book. So that's a really good resource about raglan sweaters.
Right.
So I think maybe I'm feeling like maybe a book roundup will be coming up soon after I look into these. Because I bought all these books to possibly go on an adventure as a part-time designer. However, with what time?
I'm sure you'll find the time.
We'll
Just gotta
see.
stop knitting.
Or
Just
laying
design.
around. I nap a lot. I don't know how I get anything done because I nap a lot. I just will, Brian, I'll like lay down while we're watching TV and he's like, oh, I guess you're going to bed now. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just resting my eyes.
Like at 8 p.m.
Yeah, and then I wake up and he's in the bedroom and I'm on the couch and I'm like, why didn't you move me to the bed? And he's like, I came and woke you up and said I'm going to bed. And you said, okay, I'll be right there. And then I'm just on the couch. But I think that's all we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't buy any knitting books.
He's been good. No knitting books, no yarn.
Yeah. I mean, I think you buy enough knitting books too that I don't really need to, but I haven't really read any of those ones. I don't know that I want to design anything yet, or at least nothing's inspired me to design anything, so that's probably not going to happen.
It could. And I just said that we're done, but that's a whole lie because Brian has plants.
Oh, yeah.
And I think everybody really enjoyed seeing his plants last time. So do you want to talk about some plants?
Sure.
Excuse me.
One of the more recent ones I got was... This is...
I'm gonna put it there.
Yeah, it's called a Hoya curtisii. It's called an epiphytic plant, epiphyte, because it like grows in the tree, in the branches, or in, you know, it grows on other plants. But yeah, it's over time, all of these little vines.
I'm putting it on the main camera.
Okay.
Do you want to hold it?
Yeah. They're gonna start.
I dropped something.
They're gonna start to trail down. So I don't know. The plan was maybe put it in one of these windows, so over time it can start to grow down. And yeah, they also do flower. I don't know how to get them to flower. Obviously, they need to get a lot of sunlight. So maybe if I keep this in the window throughout the winter, then in the spring it will start to flower. Because these are known for having mostly very strong smelling and pleasant smelling flowers when they have them. So I'll see if that works. But yeah, I've been really into Hoyas lately. And the nice thing with most Hoyas is the leaves. These are pretty stiff little leaves, but when they need water, you can start to bend them, and that's a good way to know like when they need water. And I think the majority of Hoyas kind of follow that thing because I have a few other ones, but when they start to get kind of soft, the leaves, like this particular one is, when they all start to get like that, then you know it's time to water because they can die from root rot very easily if you give them too much water too frequently, because then no oxygen can get to the roots, so it causes issues.
So I just realized that we jumped right into plant talk, and if you we're not watching last time. Yes, we
yeah.
mostly nip. Brian has become quite a horticulturalist. I say, a botanist. He says he's not, but this all happened during the stay at home. We moved in together in October. I think we bought this place, and we had 3 plants, and now we have how many?
49 because I did sell 2 of them.
And he's propagating them, so we're getting more free plants. And I don't touch them, though I obviously move them around the house as props, because if you follow me on Instagram, or Brian for that matter, you'll see, and I just realized I left this text on there the whole time. Oh, if you follow us on Instagram, down here, you'll see plants. And on his, it's because he takes care of these plants and likes these plants. On my Instagram, it's because they make beautiful backgrounds. I don't touch them because I will kill them all. I have some bamboo that is, I don't think I've watered it. I actually think that I forgot to water it.
Yeah, probably needs water.
It's probably sitting in an empty vase. So Ray and Kevin say, we have failed our plants since your last live. 2 succulents are no longer with us. I have succulents. I own 4 succulents, and I don't even look at them. I bought them, and then I asked Brian to take care of them for me. So he waters them.
I mean, succulents are really tough, too, because even I don't get really when they need water. That's like, plants like this are nice because you can feel in the leaves when they need water. A succulent's not going to do that. If you wait for a typical succulent to go soft, it's dead. But I haven't quite figured those ones out. These are, I don't know, I've watered them like every 6 weeks, and they seem fine.
They're alive.
Yeah. But we also don't have ideal light for them either, so they're not going to dry out as quickly as...
What direction is this? West?
This is east facing. And then there is one window that's kind of southeast facing, though there's a building like right next to it and a tree, so it's not like full south exposure, but that's like the sunniest window we have.
And then our patios on our deck is on the west, and it doesn't get a ton of light either.
No, like around this time of year now, the sun is directly hitting the window for a couple of hours, which is nice. But in the summer, because of the position of the sun, it gets blocked for a while. So it's kind of difficult to get good light in here because this is the first floor of a 3-story building, and we do have 3 south-facing windows, which are like the best, but we're on the first floor next to another building, so they are completely blocked. They don't get direct sun at all.
Yeah, we can just see into our neighbor's place. So like in our bedroom, we have, because we don't want to just keep the window closed, and it like that window looks directly into somebody else's window that's like 3 feet away. So we have, Brian got this,
It's like a privacy film.
Yeah, it's like a film that makes it look like a frosted glass, which is really nice because we can have the window open and not, be putting on a show for anybody, or witnessing somebody else's show.
Yeah.
Do you have other plants?
So this one's not like a new one, but I am being very...
Oh, y'all, he brought this moss pole home and put it in this pot, and look at this.
I'm being very optimistic.
Look at this tiny pot. This moss pole.
Careful, don't move too fast.
Sorry. I was going to put it... Look at how tall this is.
Yeah.
This is outrageous.
So I haven't figured out the best way because it's a small plant right now, and our friends got this for me for my birthday in April, and it was like, there was only like 6 leaves on this whole thing, so it's grown this much since then. But I want it to start wrapping around a pole because I want this thing to be huge, but I don't know how to do that because I can't put it in a much bigger pot, otherwise the soil's going to stay wet for too long and then it's going to kill the plant. So this was my solution, and I don't know if it's very good because I halfway blocked the drainage hole in the bottom. So I'm kind of waiting to see how that turns out. But yeah, I would like, once this like reaches the top, then I'm just going to have it go back down and then, do that a couple of times, and then hopefully I can pot it up to something even bigger and give it like a 6-foot pole, but we'll see. But that's been something I've been kind of trying.
Did you say what it is?
This is a Monstera adansonii.
Is this... So we watch these YouTubers, which is partially why I like lay down and rest my eyes. Not because I find it boring. I don't take care of plants, but I like these YouTubers. Just like, I think that they are interesting people, so I like watching their videos. 'Cause they'll vlog. Anyway, that's a long way to say this one has this huge monstera that sits behind her in her videos. Like, I mean, it's like the size of this window. It's massive. Is that what this is?
Yeah, so she has one of these. She bought it from a nursery on a 7 or 8 foot pole. So it's in like a 12-inch pot or something like that, and it's like 7 or 8 feet tall. But it's been wrapped up and down, and it's just on like a 2x4.
Oh, is that why it's like that? So they grow this way, not this way?
Yeah, they won't really bush out. I mean, the leaves will do this, but that's about it. It's because it's wrapped up and down multiple times, and there's probably been more planted at the base.
I see. I mean, hers looks like a giant tree. It's gorgeous and huge. And I think she said she paid like $200 for it.
Yeah, which is insane because that would be triple that cost here in Chicago, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it takes a long time for it to get to that point. So, I don't know. I hope that it works out because I think that would be really cool to have like a big statement plant like that. But this looks kind of crazy right now on a 3-foot pole with a 5-inch pot.
Also, that YouTuber with that giant monstera, we found out that, she was talking about one of her recent vlogs that she sews all her own clothes. And apparently she crochets as well. And she has a YouTube channel about her sewing at least. I don't know. So her plant channel is called Becca de la Plants. And we talked about this last time, but I don't know what her sewing channel is. And I don't think she talks about her crocheting a lot. I just know that she does it. So
it's like a lifestyle vlog thing, but because it's not exclusively sewing, but I'm trying to remember what the name.
I don't know, but I like her a lot. She's funny.
Yeah.
And then we have some things in common. Is that any more plants?
I mean, I also bought this from a local plant store. It's just a little a parlor palm. So it's Pam the parlor palm, I guess.
Pam?
Pam.
They all have names, y'all. What's the monstera's name?
I don't know if I gave that one a name yet.
So they don't all have names apparently. But the other day he said, "Oh, I ordered Bert. Bert's on the way," and I'm like, "What's Bert?" And apparently he already named this plant that's coming Bert.
Oh, the name of the plant is called a Hoya Bertoniae.
So it's
I
called
was feeling
Bert.
lazy, so I just called it
And
Bert.
now Pam the parlor palm.
Yeah, but this is just I don't know. I just saw it and it was pretty. It's supposed to be able to withstand very low light conditions, though I have it like in the window right here facing kind of like northeast. But I don't know, it's pretty. I don't think they get very big, and they're not like anything special, but
It's cute.
yeah, I like the look of it. Looks like a nice little, I don't know, tropical bush.
I feel like, at least watching these YouTube videos and then talking to Brian, I feel like plant people feel the need to like have more and more special plants, but like sometimes I feel like some of them are just cute, and that's enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that are really into like the rare plants, and I don't know if I have anything that's considered rare. I've had a few that were like hard to find, but they weren't rare. And like this one, I think I still have the price tag. This was $18, which is actually kind of expensive. You could probably get this at Home Depot for like $5.
But we live, there's a Home Depot, but it's like 2 miles away, and we don't have a car. And up until recently, we haven't really been taking public transportation. We don't really go anywhere still, and we're pretty cautious about, the pandemic. We follow the rules, so we wear our masks and we're vaccinated, so we take the bus. But, I mean, we haven't been going anywhere. So walking to Home Depot to shop for plants, like walking 2 miles to do that is like not always the thing to do, because then you're gonna have to carry them back too. So
yeah, and then if it's like, it's been fine recently, but once it's cold, like there's only so far you can take these like I need to be able to fit them in my backpack in order to get them here. Otherwise, like all these plants are like from tropical regions. If they get into freezing weather for like a 20-minute walk home, they could die or suffer like a lot of damage and drop a lot of leaves. So,
but that hasn't been a problem for a few months.
No, not since like May or June. And then before that, if I did buy anything, I did just make sure that I could fit it in the backpack so that wasn't an issue. But there are places that will deliver too that you can also order from, which is nice because then you don't feel like you just can't buy anything for like half the year.
Yeah.
I just haven't ordered any of those.
So Misty likes that you name your plants, and she's going to go ahead and name her plants too. And you use an app called Vera, which is why you started naming them?
Yeah, so this app called Vera, you can take pictures and track like when you're fertilizing, watering, and stuff like that, but it just gives a field there for the name, like the name of the plant, and then you can also put the location.
And that was but apparently they live longer when you name them, right?
I guess I haven't really named like 2 or 3 of them, and they have not really made it.
Oh, well.
Or I sold them because like 2 of them I sold because one was a duplicate and the other one just did not. It needed way too much light, and I wasn't willing to give up the spots right now that have the best light for that one plant because it just would have, I don't know, looked a little too crowded in that space.
We do also have grow lights all over the house. Like these are not all the plants, obviously. So there are grow lights. And then right over here is his IKEA greenhouse cabinet. And that is a greenhouse. So it's full of grow lights.
Yeah, I just got the, it's the Rudsta cabinet, but I weather stripped it, put a little, like a heater in it, got some fans, and then obviously the grow lights. So it can like, hopefully during the winter when it's like really crappy here, then the inside is like has no humidity and the temperature's kind of low, that certain plants can still be able to survive. It's just, it's not very big.
It's small.
Yeah, it's only like,
it's like this wide.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to show it to you better next time. I think you showed a picture last time, which maybe we have, but I'll figure out a way to like get some video of it or something at some point. Maybe I'll put it some B-roll in one of my videos. Somebody says that you need a Knit and Crochet Tiger says you need to get a plant named Ernie now.
now I can go shopping again.
Oh God, more plants. Do you have any other plants or?
No, those were kind of the recent ones or like recent changes. I mean, I've been repotting things, and then the propagations I've been putting back into the pots of the mother plant so that they can be like more full, because I wanted to get that done before the winter sets in, so that everything, like these roots are established and everything, because I don't know how a lot of these are going to react during the winter, since they usually just slow down or don't grow at all during those colder periods. Especially because we're not going to get that much light. Like we get down to like 7.5 hours of light, I think, in the winter. Yeah, it
starts getting dark early. Like it would be dark by the time I was leaving the office whenever I was going into work.
Yeah, it starts to set at like 4:30 in December.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to end up with more grow lights.
Hopefully not too many, but yeah.
They always freak me out because I'll sit on the couch over here and there's like the greenhouse cabinet on this side, and there's like a big grow light on the other side just behind me, and you hear this sound when they flip off because he has them on like timers, and it just makes this little clicking sound, and it's like a clicking sound, and the light goes off, and sometimes Brian's at the gym and this happens, and I'm like, who's that? Because the dogs are with me.
Sometimes the dogs look too.
Out. Yeah, the dogs get freaked out by it too, because I've been watching Nancy Drew on HBO Max, I think, and it's like, on this version of Nancy Drew, she there's like supernatural elements, which is, it is what it is. And I'm like a scaredy cat, so there's like these ghosts on the show, and I'm watching this like tense show, and then the lights just flick off and it freaks me out. But yeah. But I think that is all that we have. Yeah. So thank you for joining us and spending part of your day with us. If you want to see more of Brian's plants, go follow him on his Instagram because he posts both knitting and plant content. And if you want to see more of my knitting, you can follow me on Instagram or hit the like button or the subscribe button here on YouTube. Hit like if you've enjoyed this live podcast, and share this video with a friend if you are so inclined. I'm getting super close to 30,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Blows my mind, but I'm so thankful to have you all here. But yeah, thank you so much, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.